Good morning, traders. Vinny here with FuturestraderElite. Start our Friday off, and hopefully we have a nice, decent Friday trading today. See if they can give us some good moves. I know, of course, there has been some wild moves. You know, between the drop yesterday, after I got off stream, and then they brought it back, and then we put in all-time highs this morning in pre-market. They run it up there pretty good, actually. So this being a Friday, we need to make sure that we probably size down, take our time, wait for A+ setups, let them come to us. You know, we wait and see how it looks when it opens. When the market opens, it's going to open here in about 7 minutes or so. But so well, kind of in pre-market, I was kind of thinking, I was hoping that at the open, I was hoping that when they open at 9:30, that this would pull back, maybe tag the 50 on the 5-minute here and bounce. But of course, they drained it off down to there now. And so now you can see we have the 15-minute down here just under the previous day high. And then the previous day high of 156. And then we have this 4-hour zone here, 116 to 106. And then we have the 30-minute 50. And then we have a 4-hour zone here at 71 to 61. It seems like they need to give us a real decent pullback. I really like where the 60-minute 50 is sitting down here in a 4-hour zone right now at 21. Plus we have imbalance here on a higher time frame 4-hour chart. This green box in between these two 4-hour zones here, and the overnight low is down here. You know, they could probably really find some legs down in this area if they came back and tested that area or swept it. And then, of course, they got the gap. They never filled the gap overnight. You know, they gapped up and they never filled it. So it's one of them things, you know, tread lightly. It is Friday. We've been pushing all-time highs all week, putting new ones in. So hopefully they're not going to try to give a lot of that back today. But who knows? All we can do is build some trade plans and, you know, be prepared for whatever happens. We'll see if it's a buy the pullback kind of day, or are they going to drain it or something? Right now there's a pre-market low here sitting right under the R1 pivot, and we got about 169 to about 365, so almost 200 points in range just in the pre-market low and high. And a lot more than that if you include the overnight low. So see if it gets volatile when they open. About 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes, I think. Like always, there's a reboot link at the beginning of the chat if we need it today. What's going on, Jake? Maybe it's Friday and maybe we can get them likes on the stream ran up to about 30. Been trying to get there all week and still hadn't been able to do it. So don't forget to smash that like button. Help YouTube push it out there further. Got just over a minute left. I'm gonna make sure that I'm sized down here at the open. I will probably try to react out of the gate if they try to do some kind of hard pullback, say to, I don't know, down here to one of these other 50 EMAs on one of these higher time frames. I'll probably react. But then if then I might just wait, wait till they put in the first 15 minutes. Got about 20 seconds left. Hope everybody's ready. Let's end this week on a good note. Just a few seconds. Here we go. See if they can, how far they can push it down maybe here at the open. Kind of think that might be willing to take something off here at the 15-minute 50 down here around 140, between 140 and 150, if they can push down there. And then if not, just have to wait. Almost hard to think about you gotta be careful where you choose your entries, because you just never know when something's gonna happen, or they say something in the news. It was like a 400-point drop yesterday or something like that, and then took about half of it back in like the first 3 or 4 minutes. Just V-shaped right back up. That's the kind of danger we got to try to steer clear of. Even if you have stops in place, I can tell you now that if it gets volatile and you get a drop like that, just because you have a stop in place don't necessarily mean you're going to close that trade in the green, because I've been there, done that. All right. Thanks for hopping in, Merlin. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. I may try to put something together over the weekend, because we did pass 700 subs on YouTube yesterday. So I don't know if I'm going to put together some kind of maybe some kind of sale on something or something. But it's a milestone, so may try to put something together. Look at this. Look at this. Now they got room for expansion to the upside here. Ideally, though, They'd have to get above that orb high and that 50 EMA. I don't want to get caught up in some kind of whipping around this early in the day. Remember, they put in all-time highs this morning again, and it's like 364 or something. It's way up there. So about 130 points from where we're at now to the upside. You know, maybe they try to run MNQ up at the first half of the day, maybe drain it off towards the end of the day since it's Friday. Anything's possible. But since we're in a bullish trend, I mean, who knows? I think I'm really wanting to wait and see if we can get some kind of good pullbacks to maybe get long in. And I mean good pullbacks, not like that little leg down there. I want to see something real down to the 15-minute, the 30-minute. I don't even care if it's the 1 hour or 50 EMA. I want to see something big for me to put my risk on something or enter the market with the capital, you know. We've had a really good week. I don't necessarily need to take any trades today, so we're not going to force anything, you know. If a great opportunity sets up, then we'll think about jumping in somewhere. Right now, we're just looks sort of like some sort of fake out. See, I was talking about how it was looking good for the long. They're setting it up on momentum, and then they whip above that 50, push it down, and push back down. This is what I was talking about. I don't want to get whipped around this early, thinking that they're going to push this up yet. Now, I mean, although we are very far pulled back, I mean, 160 points almost from the high that they put in at the high in pre-market, but that don't mean that they don't need to give us some more, you know. Morning, Melinda. And necessarily they don't have to give us any more at all, but it would be nice to get more. I think right down here close to this 30-minute 50, that's the prior day open, I think. Down there with that. Yeah, prior open just below it. 15-point difference there. Don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. Help push it out there further. Remember, no position is a position. So don't chase price. Stay focused. Just remember, look at that nice green candle. Don't get any thoughts, oh, you're going to miss out on something. Waiting is part of the strategy, and the market pays patience, not activity. So I'm going to sit on my hands for the moment. And see what they're doing here. And they do have some nice room to extend on the momentum side indicator, so we'll see. Maybe I should get us overhead trend line on here. See what we're looking like. Looks like it's about to break it, is what it looks like. Try to anyway. So if they try to say put in a higher high right here, take out this structure, 270 or so, if they can get up and close above 270, we could think about looking at this as in maybe they're going to try to turn this around and maybe starting to buy the pullback situation maybe. First we need to see them close up there. Struggling here pretty good. Not really what we want to see. What are you guys looking at? Are we got people looking to go short, looking for a short entry, or is most everyone looking for a pullback so you can get long? Remod said they're looking for a pullback. I prefer the pullback. I'm not really trying to look anywhere to go short. If I do look to go short, it's going to have to be after a decent drive up and have momentum extended on the 1, 2, and 5 time frame. Otherwise, I'll probably stay away. You know, the ATR is around 20, and it just the open here has not been impressive at all. We are getting close to the 15-minute close. We got, I think, a couple more minutes. And don't even quite have a 100-point range in the orb yet. Maybe about 80 or 85, I think. Remember, patience pays, though. You know, it's crazy. They keep getting them. Like yesterday on stream, I was wanting that pullback so bad. And then I mean, we wasn't off stream that long at all, and there it was. Big pullback. They keep getting these weird moves in the other sessions, or, you know, out of the blue. But it seems like there's been some really decent moves overnight and early in the morning instead of the New York session. I think we could maybe do some damage if we could get a 400 point pullback, you know, while we're live. Maybe this is our opportunity here. Maybe not. Either way, we don't predict we're gonna react. Because as traders, we can't control the market conditions. But what can we control? Our discipline, our patience, our risk, our rules, our psychology, and our consistency. Those things we can control. And as long as you are in control, you should be fine regardless of what the market conditions are. We might have to adapt, of course. You could be trading a particular strategy for 2 or 3 weeks straight. Say like a few weeks back we was in a bear trend, and maybe you had been trading in successful high win rate and would trade and get done for the day and think, wow, that's as easy as taking candy from a baby. And then all of a sudden, boom, we hit a bull trend and that strategy don't quite work the same way. Not that it won't still win or is not a good one, but it just don't hit the same because the trend, the overall bias changes, and that's when you have to adapt to the market. You might have to add another confluence to the strategy. You might have to keep tighter stops. Maybe it works, but you're not getting as much R&R on it, you know. So just remember, you always got to adapt. And before, I seen somebody talking the other day talking about how they had been winning. And now all of a sudden it's like the exact strategy they was using started losing, and it's not the strategy don't change, the market conditions changed. And so that's why I say it's always good to have a lot of tools in your toolbox when it comes to trading, and know different ways to trade whatever strategy that you're using, you know. So we didn't get our higher high put in there, and the orb's locked in where it's at, so not even quite 100 points of range. I don't think. Where we at? 7.6, and no, looks like about 85 points of range, 84. Me and Remod, we looking for a pullback. Jake's probably looking for a pullback. Nobody answered me, but I'm assuming a lot of people are looking for a pullback. Other than Remods, I was looking for a pullback. How low can you go? How low can you go? Jake's throwing out numbers here. 27,180 for a pullback. Let's check him out. Oh, that's the orb low right here. 27,180. Well, it's a little higher than the orb low. 27,180. I would rather get 27. I'll tell you what, I'll just draw a box on the chart. I would rather see something like this here. say about 145 to 155. Oh, I see. You wanting a you looking for an intraday double bottom, ain't you, Jake, or something? Retest that low there since the market opened. Let me scroll back a little bit. Oh yeah, see what he's got going on here. That start of the leg. Yep, yep. Now I see what you're looking at. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. They built a decent little base there too before they moved on that. What was that? 7 o'clock market time. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. Basically say a retest of the orb low here, because that's at 177. Chopping it around. Chop City. Come on, let's go. Make it a good Friday. Let's see if we can push them subs on YouTube to like 720 today while we're on stream. 708. Trend line, another rejection. Zero trades on the day so far. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, let's go. ATR sitting around 25. They act like they're about to push this down. We'll see. We've got expansion room to get on down to this box that I put on the chart. 145 to 155. On the 5-minute, we got plenty of room, and on the 2-minute. I guess maybe I should go look and see if there's some kind of imbalance down here too. Now they have some imbalance on the 5-minute chart from 182 to 202. And it just tapped into that with this, the top of that imbalance. I don't see a whole lot there. Now 141, move this down to here and this up to here. That's in balance on the 15-minute chart right there. And our 50 EMA is coming up into that imbalance. I would like to see a push down to this if I could. I think I'd take a long out of this zone as long as everything lined up confluence wise with the momentum indicators and everything. See if I have some more imbalance to cross over that. Yeah, there's some on the 30-minute that can add into that. So they're tapping into that R1 pivot and pre-market low. Got the previous day high here. There's some 30-minute imbalance that lays over this 15-minute. It's larger than that 15-minute, of course. Short the top wick. Jake, are you saying you are short the top wick? This one up back here at like 250? 250, wherever that wick is up there in the 250s. Nice job, Jake. That's a beautiful short. 100-point move. Nice. Come on, let's get this bounce out of this area. Morning swing. Show me a leg up here. Come on, push. You can do it. Push. Going on, Rich? Morning. Getting a sweep here. I want to give this a second to breathe and see, let this play out. Or I'll just cut it manually if I need to. I don't want to add to this position. I want to be small because, like I was saying earlier, I'm not 100% sure I'm trusting the market on Friday. But if they can get some legs under them and push, you know, push this back green in the next candle, maybe find some legs, and well, that's beautiful. Come on, leg up here. Nice. Let's push. Push, push, push. Nice. Keep pushing. Push. Come on, let's go. Push. Jake said he's flipping long here. Not a bad idea. That's a beautiful, beautiful short play into a flip. I love playing those if I can catch the short and then flip long. Excuse me. Come on, let's push. We're finding some decent legs here. You know, we could say, even though we're finding legs here, it may just come back to, let's say, 220 maybe. You can hold out here. Did anybody grab the long out of this zone down here? You know, they could come back and sweep the 50 EMA on the 1 minute. Melinda's long at 46. 146, I'm assuming, then 66. Take it, you added to the position. Come on, let's push. Don't do it. Don't pull back. Whatever. All right, so they stopped me out. I wasn't being patient enough to let it ride, but good job, Melinda. Daniel long at 135. Wow, that's a beautiful entry. Nice job. Daniel said, you ain't faking me out with that wick. I'm going to buy you at the bottom. Melinda's out. Great job, guys and gals. Nice. I'm a little impatient. It's probably going to go all the way back up, but I'm out, so let it be what it is, right? Although I should be a little more patient with the trade, considering it did come, price came to me. It's exactly where I want it in. And then, so I should have gave it a little more room to run, you know? But I take my base hit, I'll be happy with it. I'm not going to chase price. I would possibly go long on break of structure here if it closed above the 21 EMA. But the problem with that is I'm not too certain that it ain't going to reject up there at the 50 on the 1 minute. Because really, intraday, the bias is bearish right now. So until they can prove otherwise, I don't want to get caught up in the mid move of a trade, if you know what I mean. If I try to go long here, I don't know if I want to get long and just for them to reject another 20 or 30 points higher, although that's a decent base hit, you know, 20 or 30 points. Oh, the red candle got me. That's all right. It's all right. The fact of the matter is that it stopped you, or you could be using no stop and thinking whether or not you should hold on to the position or not. You're going by discipline and risk management, so that's fine. You'll get back. And if you don't, that's okay too. I mean, accepting losses is part of it. Jeff asked where I would have let go. Wow, look at that. Amazing. Wow. Now I have JOMO, you know, because ATR is about 40. I don't know what just happened, but I'm actually glad that I'm out of it because I don't want to be in none of this crazy candle stuff. Jeff said, if it had kept dropping after your entry, where would you have stopped out? I was in at about 150, if I remember right close to the 15. And what I was paying attention to, Jeff, was the kill zone indicator on all 3 time frames and watching the momentum coming into the trade. You can see the momentum when it's there and the way the candles are reacting. So I was either going to cut it down here by the time it come down to the 30. I only had 2. I was either going to cut at the 30-minute 50 or I was going to buy more, depending on what everything else was telling me at that point in time. If that makes sense. Because I believed it was going to bounce at the 15, but I also believed that if I went in small enough and they decided to drag this on down against me 50 or 60 points, I could have added a little heavier down here. If it looked like it was going to bounce here instead, then I could have added, scaled out when it got a decent little bounce, and it would have moved my price all the way down here. So it really just depends, you know, what it looked like when it got here. So I would have been risking about 50 points to see the reaction from my entry. What is that with the 2 cons? $200. So great question though, Jeff, by the way. I hope that that helped, Jeff. Daniel out at 203. Daniel caught the long at 135. Nice job, Daniel. Nice job. You guys and gals are killing it. I'm not really a R&R kind of trader, you know, going by points as far as stops. That's why I never have them on my chart. I try to base everything off structure and confluences and whether or not the risk is worth dollar cost averaging into a trade or just cutting it. She ain't here with me today. No, she's at the regular job, but she's probably trading while she's there. She's on stream, I think. She traded while she was there Wednesday, so. There she is, as a matter of fact. Special K posted in the Discord. Set up some screenshots. Oh. You posted in the Discord. Where at? That's Jake. Jake posted in the set up some screenshots. With a nice trade. Got some whipping action going on here. ATR still around 25. You see they're keeping it below the 50 on the 1 minute and the 5 minute here. So ideally, if they keep this up, you could think maybe try to, if you wanted to get short anytime they test this up here, they done pushed it down good here. They wicked to it there, got pushed back. So we have to watch and see if they want to turn this around and get us back on a bullish bias on the intraday. Overall, we are. Higher time frame, we're bullish. Intraday, we are bearish right now. Have to know the distinction between the two. I only bring it up because not everybody can understand that concept. I know I've talked to a lot of people that didn't realize to look at the market that way. Look at their, man, I don't like what they're doing here. Might end up sitting on my hands for a while. There it is. Special K posted in the setups and screenshots. One con. Up fairly well there. On that drive up. ATR hopped to 30 with all whatever they're doing here. Be safe. Be safe. That's all I can say. Size down and be careful. If they do keep us in an intraday bearish bias, then you're going to have to start realizing and thinking that they're going to bring us some more levels to the downside if they keep this up. And if they do, we need to start eyeballing more opportunities for the long entry again for a bounce, a relief leg. Otherwise, you know, they need to get up here and take out the orb high. The only way to switch the bias on the intraday right now is to get above 270, say. So, and I mean, they can do it. They could do it in one candle. We all know that if they want to. But I'm just saying, until they prove that, you need to think more on the short side, unless they give us a bigger pullback down here to go long in. No reason to get long here where price action's at. No reason to get long up here if they do close at 270, because this could be a intraday triple top almost is what it would look like. So you would have to see how it reacts. If they close above and then retest the orb high, maybe take the retest. Now, if they could close, let's say they close green here, they bust this trend line and get a decent little pullback, say to the 50 or the 5-minute 50, it gets, say 240, and then they pull back to say 215, 220. That might be a possible long entry, depending on what the momentum indicators look like for me. Because they're going to need to cool off to 1 minute if they keep this drive up. And when they cool that 1 minute off, they might pull it back for a decent entry, because there's room on the 2 and 5 minute to keep going to the upside. Over here and see it. Somebody else might have posted in Discord, it looks like. Special K. Got to get back to work. Done for that. Yeah, get back to work. Locked in 3 accounts nicely. Some base hits in a couple, and almost 300, 271 and something else there. I'm assuming that 271 is the funded. She's trying to get the consistency rate down. She's almost there. She had too big of a day one day last week, and well past payout, but she's got to get the consistency of 40%. And so she's putting in a bigger buffer in that one because she's up past payout. So by the time she can get her payout, gets her consistency down and takes that payout, her buffer is going to be like probably, you got to have 2,600 in there. She's going to have probably over 5K in there even after the payout. So she's going to have double the buffer on that payout, probably. It'll put her in a sweet spot, that's for sure, with that one. I'm going to take my box off down here, clean up the chart a little bit. And now we're getting up into here what I was talking about. They keep extending. If they close up here above its trend line, there is the possibility, say they get up to the closer to the orb high and then put in a leg down and maybe test the 5-minute 50 here, say between 215 and 225, but they need to extend this first to make that even a good idea for a trade plan. Morning, Gore. Hope everybody's off to a good start this morning. If you have traded, hopefully you're nice and green. If you have taken a hit here or there or read an account, you know, let it be and rotate to another one, or just size down, take your time, and wait for price to come to you on the next trade. If you did, that don't mean you take your next trade and up your size because you took a loss on the first trade to try to make it back up. That's revenge trading. We don't do that here. Nice. They keep trying to push it, and they're cleaning up the way some of these lines are looking, these EMAs and everything. I might most definitely be in play for a long here if they pull back and keep it above the 1 minute and 5-minute 50. Right now they're coming together if they keep driving this. Broke out of the orb here. They still got to get above 270 to prove it. Otherwise, it's just the about a quadruple top on the intraday. I think I'd be willing to go in with one if they could pull it back to say around 220. Or they could come back and retest its trend line. There's so much here that is possible. but I would think maybe down here around the 5 minute, so around 220. Looks like they're saying no. We are going to turn bullish on the day and try to run it back up. Maybe not. That's why we sit and we wait. We don't chase. We have Jomo. Who all on chat has Jomo right now? It's my favorite part of the day. While everybody else is sweating, I'm smiling and having Jomo. Don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. Help grow the community. Appreciate all the support. Jeff, JOMO is the joy of missing out. The complete opposite of FOMO. You like that? That's what we do here. We don't do FOMO. We do JOMO. You know, and I don't remember where did I get that from? Somebody I used to watch on auctions. Ben, somebody. Sturgill. I don't know. Jake might not know who I'm talking about, maybe. Can't remember the name. Hey, why is there movement? My door. They are struggling here. Yeah, that's who I thought it was. Ben Sturgill. Still getting, yeah. Yep. Still got the rejection out of the orb high there. In the way that they're somewhat of a nasty looking flag here. I'm not liking the entry down here anymore, which you can see they wick down there and then push back up to the orb high, but rejected again. So sorry, I got a little sidetracked trying to answer something, another message. Morning swing. So as of right now, as we sit, they ain't been able to flip the intraday bias back to bullish. And until they do so, we need to be thinking of two different scenarios. Entries for the short play or pullbacks for longs. So, you know, questionable thing would be, let's get us a box here. You know, maybe they get a pullback back down into this area to protect the low, the lowest low here, since the market's been open. Or, and then they bounce again and maybe they range it, or they need to break 270, or we need to be looking for a bounce, a bigger pullback to get long. Either way, I'm going to be fine. I'm willing to wait it out. I'm willing to sit on my hands and answer questions or talk about anything else, preferably, than to be trading. Remember, it is Friday, and we all know how Fridays can be. And so, remember, one bad trade can erase 10 good decisions or more. And so, if you've had a great Monday through Thursday, there's no reason to force Friday. Okay? Protect, protect, protect. If you protect the account, the profits will follow. If you protect the account, you'll be able to show up Monday. If you get impatient and let emotions creep in on you while you're sitting there and force something, that could turn bad. You don't want to have a great Monday through Thursday and then end the week on tilt because you was trying to force something to happen on the chart that's not there. And that's when you know the difference, say, because if you're sitting there trying to force something, then you're not quite there with the mindset, because the green is not the goal, the profit is not the goal. Being in control is the goal. If you're in control, everything else will follow. I mean, is it really so important that you would have to force a trade today? Or let's just say you was about ready to take a payout today. You could take a payout today if you got another $200 or $100. It don't matter what it is. Say it's $50. But say if you got that today, you could take payout tonight. So is it really worth forcing to get that payout, say today, versus waiting until Monday when there might be a better setup and you can take an easy trade to hit the goal instead of trying to force it? Forcing it's when just leads into a snowball effect. You know, bad trade turns into revenge trade, turns into down too much, so I'm going to size up. And your mind just, it is your worst enemy. When you get into that mind frame, it becomes your worst enemy. And we are our own worst enemies when it comes to trading. Our minds are. That's why I have the mindset book out there. Goes over a lot of things. But you know, me, I'm sitting over here minding my own business with my Jomo. You know, if I think it's going to go down and someone says, well, if you want to go long down there, why wouldn't you short until it gets there? Well, just because I think it's going there is not a trade plan. A trade plan is taking an entry with a plan built around it because it's a good short play, not because I think it's going somewhere. We're not predicting anything. We're going to react to the chart. And then Morton Harris, you know, some people will be like, oh, well, I see this pattern on the chart. Look at this pattern. Look at this candle pattern. You know, they're like, I see this, and I'm thinking, okay, no, I mean, that's not a strategy. I guess it can be for some people, but I need more confluence with a trade plan than oh, there's 3 green candles, or oh, there's this kind of candle. I mean, that's all good and all, but it seems like they may not be trading, have not been trading MQ long enough. And there's a lot more that goes into planning a trade than just one thing, you know. Stack the confluence in your favor. That's how you get to the A+ setup. Now you can't make it up though. Like, you can't make it up. That a confluence has actually got to be there. Excuse me. Speaking of that, I meant to pull some fibs today. I wanted to look at something, and getting dry. What do we got going on here? Are they going to come back and test this bottom down here? Probably not. Not without bouncing first. Oh, what a day. Dang. Hey, thanks, Melinda. Makes me happy. At least one person out there enjoys it. Chop City. Yes, sir. It is. Is it a special case that it keeps her calm? Is it the psychology that's keeping you calm, or the southern accent? Jake, that's funny. I only think that's funny because I was doing this. I've been doing the same thing, not every day, but I I've been watching them for a while now because of my kill zone indicator. Well, because I like playing the first red candle on the 1 minute, depending on where all the momentum's at on the indicators. But I've also been paying attention to the 5 minute. That's funny. I like the thought process on that, Jake. And that's why we do that. That's why we test stuff like that, because you got to have more things in your arsenal when it comes to trading than just this and that. one or two things, and because you got to be able to adapt to the market, and you never know what thing you can add to the toolbox that you can pull out on a particular day, because the strategy, something you add to your strategy might work on this day and not work again for 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, Special K, you've gotten really good at trading with structure. There's no doubt about that. You had a mindset shift though. Special K had a mindset shift because she was talking about that yesterday. And it can be different for everyone, I mean, you'll be trading one day and just something will click because of something that happened on a chart, or maybe a trade you took, or maybe a trade setup that you was following just to see how it played out. And then something clicks in your head, and you get a little bit better. And then, a little time goes by and you're on the charts, and then bam, something else clicks in your head. And so you follow it and you watch a little bit, maybe you test it out, and you're like, wow. Then it clicks. And so now you're adding things to your arsenal, putting them in your toolbox, because now not only are you a trader that comes to the market every day, now you're a trader, say you got 3 or 4 different things in that toolbox that you're looking for on a chart. And as you stack those up, you can find more A plus setups. And then of course some people, they play, you hear it, I've heard it, I've seen it on reels, one strategy, one this, one that. I trade 10 minutes a day. I make thousands and thousands of dollars a month or a day by using this one setup. Well, I can tell you right now, it's all crock. I've been trading long enough that I'm pretty sure if that was true, I'd be doing it, and so would everybody else, and nobody would have a job, and everybody would just be rich. But every day you can wake up and go outside and realize that ain't true, because if it was, why is everybody going off to work? Or why is everyone struggling so hard in this world? So there ain't no one strategy. Now, could they possibly be adding things as confluence to one strategy? Absolutely. But that sure ain't what they talk about when you see that stuff online. All right, we're getting a decent little pullback here. We need to see. I got my zone drawn down there. I will be willing to put on risk there, depending on what it looks like if they come to it. We can see the 1 minute's ready to bounce on the momentum indicator already. The 2 and the 5 have room to go down. The 5 minutes just now crossing the 50-yard line to the downside, so it's got quite a bit of room to expand. I'd almost say that there's enough room on the 50, on the 5-minute momentum to get down to the 30-minute 50 EMA, possibly. Oh, Jake posted the trade. Set up some screenshots. Let's go look. Nice, Jake. Looks real good. So you got some volume profile or something on there. Nice. Looking good. Looking good, Jake the Snake. Let's smash that like button on the stream. Help grow the community. If you're new here, come join the Discord. I forgot to post a link though today. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's get a 100-point drop. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get a 100-point drop, find a good entry, and ride it back up 200 points. Or do they just do that and after the market closes or the overnight session? It's hard, you know, or they'll wait until we're done streaming and then do it. All right. Let's see, prices at, what, about 190? Where would that put us at? Down here. Ooh, yeah. That would sweep the 50 EMA on the 30, and then the prior day opens right here at 80. You know, if they can draw this 30-minute 50 EMA up into this 4-hour zone right here, is from 106 to 116. I could like that right there. Is confluence in that 4-hour zone with that 50 there, but we'll talk a little more serious about that if and when they make it look like it's going to go there, because that might not even be on the table. They got to clear this zone box here from 35 to 135 to 145 to the downside. If they can't get through this box, then I can't be thinking about anything lower right now. They obviously couldn't flip the bias on the intraday to bullish yet. Still got us in a range here inside the orb nonetheless. Well, is there anybody that is sitting in chat thinking that they're missing opportunities right now? If so, get up and go walk around. Aha. So remember, we're traders, not gamblers. Daniel's looking for the low 108. Yeah, I was looking at that area earlier. Down there. It's way down there. Let me look at it on the chart real quick. Or no, 108 is right down here. That's where this 4-hour zone is. Where's that overnight low at? Way down here. 988. Ooh-wee. Melinda said she's taking a few trades. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, Melinda, at all. I'm not saying y'all shouldn't be trading. I'm not going to, not right now. I'm going to be patient. Every trader has their own strategy, and that's what's important. You know, this ain't nothing. This ain't no signal room or nothing like that. It's about teaching what to look at and scenarios and possibilities surrounding the chart as it's moving. Because there's so many little things that can happen. Swing waiting. Gore said I did some in pre-market. I didn't trade pre-market, but I thought about it. I was watching, but I was busy doing some other stuff, kind of just glancing at it. And but after they started putting in that move in pre-market, you know what, they're running up 250 points or better. I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not even gonna mess with this right now. I'll wait till market open. And that's what's crazy is look at what we're doing since the market went open, and then look at what it did, you know, in pre-market. So we're not doing nothing. But then in pre-market, we get back here, get a nice leg up, consolidated. Huge leg right there. And now we're in this mess. Makes no sense. But whatever, you know. Exclusive party only. I know, we wasn't invited. We want to try to enter the party when big money shows up. So we're going to wait, just like they do. You know, you don't have no institutional traders trading this mess right now. They're all sitting at their desk, probably doing what they do when they're waiting for price to come down. Play video games, probably. They're doing something, but they ain't in no trade. They got orders sitting somewhere though. And that's like yesterday. They cleaned house on that drop yesterday. Not long after we got off stream, they had that big drop. On a 15-minute, the mess is all surrounding the 50% fib. Okay, so they're kind of undecided on the intraday bias if it wants to run bullish or be bearish. You know, we say all the time we're above the golden pivot, so intraday should be bullish. The golden pivot's down here at 926 pivot point, but then you have your fib can also be a factor on that, and a few other things, you know. But overall, market structure is bearish intraday. So, excuse me, regardless if it's above the golden pivot or regardless if we get above the 50% fib, until they break 270 and prove that they're going to break it with a nice break, then the bias intraday is bearish. As soon as they break 270, maybe get a decent break, maybe a retest, maybe consolidate up here above the orb high, then we need to start thinking, okay, they're going to run this. We need to start looking for some little mini pullbacks if we want long entry, probably. You know, maybe they give us 20, 30 points or whatever. You know, they don't give very good pullbacks once they start doing that run up, but for all the talking I'm doing, I could be scalping in here and probably could have stacked up, you know, several points by scalping. Or the flip side of that is I try to scalp it and I get caught wrong every time I go in. I go short, it goes long, I go long, it goes short in all this mess. And then I lose a bunch of points. That's exactly why I'm staying away from this. You can be good scalper and still be on the wrong side. And the best way not to have to worry about all that is to be patient and let price come to you. Scalping is chasing price, basically. You know, and it's fine. I scalped for a long time. I just don't do it anymore. Every once in a while I will. But usually not inside chop. If I do some scalping, it'll be more about scalping with whatever the bias is. Like we're in a bullish trend and I'm scalping, or we're in a downtrend, I'm scalping. We're in a sideways trend uh, within the orb range. So I think a lot of times, people that scalp, I mean, I was a scalper, so I think that was a mindset shift for me as well. There's something about scalping that probably gets the dopamine going in your brain or something, kind of the excitement and all that. Once you finally have that mindset change, that whole thing, kind of went away for me. It was like one day I was doing it forever, and then all of a sudden something changed. I was like, no, no, this ain't the way. What are we gonna get here? We're gonna break 270 or what? Are they gonna keep us in the range? And then one could say, well, we are in a sideways chop, but we could can say, well, we're trading sideways in this range. We're in the orb high and orb low, so some people try to trade the range. They'll go short at the high. They'll try to cover and go long at the low. I'm not saying that's not a possibility. The issue is what do you do when this time is not how that plays out? I guess it don't matter if you're sized down and got good risk management. Maybe got to stop in there. Like I could go short right here at the high, it's poking through, and then I could put my stop at 270 because I said if we break 270, it's going to flip if they close above that, and then I would get stopped out. So I mean, you could do that, and it's okay. It's just not ideal for the way I want to trade and structure and everything else. But this is looking like a good candle here. We got about 20 seconds for us to close. If it can close above 270, which it looks like it might, we'll see if they push it back down hard or anything. If we close above 270, then 3, 2, 1, they're going to reject here. Maybe pull back, retest maybe, and maybe push it higher. The 1 minute needs to pull back. Bad thing for us is the 2 and the 5 minute are exhausted as well. There's not much room for extension to the upside. Now, if they push this candle down and close this back inside the orb range, then they're probably not breaking out up here. Like about 30 seconds. And if they can close it good under the orb range, they close it down here where it's at now, or back inside that trend line, then it's probably not going to change the bias just yet. Excuse me, guys and gals. Got a couple seconds here. Now, if they bring this candle back and take this out, which I don't think they will, but if they did, then they're up to no good for sure. I kind of wanted to take that short myself just now, but I was a little late on hitting the button there, so stayed away. Gore said exactly, scalp and make one overconfident and make them believe every trade must win. That's right, Gore. Wow. Nice little short there in play. See what they can do with that. Or is this going to be the beginning of the oh, here's your little pullback. We're going to start going long. Would they close that at up there? They closed that candle at 273 and then rejected. So yeah, we'll see. We are putting in higher lows, and we finally did put in a higher high just now. So there could be the flip, coming our way to be to the upside. It's very possible. Jake said this is the flip. Yeah, it's kind of what it looking like. It's shaping up to that, it looks like. Thanks, Remop. Smash that like button. Thank you, thank you. Absolutely. Yeah. If they take out this higher high here and close pretty good, we need to expect that that the flip will be final and that we might start seeing some pullbacks because they're going to take this higher. But we're about 100 points away, I think, from at the high, all-time high right now. Get us a little trend line going on down here. Throw us a couple on here. Shape this up so we can see what price is doing here. Hey, that ain't what I want. All right, so I might take a long entry on a pullback here to say around 220, 225 area if they can pull it back here because the 1 minute 50 EMA is crossed over the 5 right here. So there's a good, if we can get a decent little pullback here, might take a small entry there. All right, Melinda, have a great day. Great weekend. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for showing up every day. Come on, let's go. Man. Tired over here just sitting here watching this chart. Might have to get up and walk. They're trying to act like that's what they want. They act like they want to take it up. Gore posted in and set up some screenshots with a short trade. Beautiful short. Nice job, Gore. We're getting extended on the lower time frames, momentum wise, so we might see some kind of relief to the downside to maybe set this up to push higher, or they could leave them all up here cooked like they are and keep pushing it anyway. But I'd like to think, you know, maybe a pullback down into here, 225, 230 maybe. I don't know, the struggle's real up here, you know. But maybe they just need to pull it back, let it cool off a little bit, and then push. There they go. They finding them some legs. Well, it looked like they was, maybe not. They probably throw in some kind of crazy green candle in a minute. ATR still sitting around 18 to 20 back and forth, so yep, the struggle there is a little tough on them right now. Now look at them. Yep, we might be lining up here to get into a buy the pullback scenario here real soon. They flipped the bias on the intraday is bullish now, so break out of that chop. Like to see a pullback here, 240, 230, 240 area, like close to the trend line and the 1 minute 50 EMA here. Could be a sweet spot for a long entry possibly if they want to keep this grind to the upside. They definitely need to cool the 1 minute off. They need to cool all three time frames off, but once they get into a bullish grind here, they can cool off the 1 minute up and down, while the 2 and the 5 are kind of just going sideways in the overbought territory. Come on, let's go. Give us a pullback. I guess I better do some walking here. Quit sitting around, get the blood flowing. See what happens up here at this next level up here around 300 to 310 area. And see if they reject there or give us a pullback. A nice little grind up they had there on this long leg here. ATR is down to like 10 or 11. Boring. Anybody out there catch it this long? Any of this long move? If so, great job. Just waiting for a pullback. See if maybe they could get a pullback and see how it reacts to that pullback. Like how they got this 50 EMA on the 1 minute here is tagging this trend line, and it's all coming into the right here where the orb high is. So that would be a nice little spot for a little pullback. I say a little bit, almost 50 points or better, or around there. You know, fast pullback, wick it down or something before trying to continue long. If they can get back above, say, 312, we need to be thinking they're going to go try to tackle the high again. But we really need to get above this structure. Because really, if we reject off of 312, 315 area, if we reject there and keep going down, then we're back into the bearish side of things. So pretty bullish right this second, but without breaking up above that other level. And look at that little pullback we got there. 10 or 15, not even 10 or 15 points probably. And then bounce it right here. Unbelievable. Just pull it back. Excuse me. Patience, patience, patience. Yeah, that 15-minute chart looks pretty rough. Whole lot of wicks on it there and some consolidation area. But they're trying to make it look better with this drive up here, so we'll see what they do. ATR's around 11 or 12. Now we need expansion to the downside if we want to find good opportunity for a long. It's about 11, coming up on 11:15 market time. Maybe about 11:30 market time. Maybe we'll see something. I don't know. Just a steady slow grind. You know, at the end of the day, if I don't find if the price don't come to me and I don't get another trade, I guess I'll just have to walk away with my $65.50 base hit. And I'd be okay with that. I'd rather stack that little base hit than to try to force something that's not there, only to find myself in the red and then being mad at myself for breaking a rule and ending the week on a bad note, you know? Yeah. I'm going to take something out of the Trader Mindset book. Just scroll through it real fast, and where it stops, I'm going to look at it. It's number 3 in one of these chapters, the one good trade philosophy. One of the biggest psychological shifts that a trader can make is adopting this mindset that you don't need 10 trades a day. You just need one good trade. Most traders blow their accounts because they're constantly searching for more action, more entries, more setups, more wins, and more opportunity. The market does not reward more. The market rewards better. One A+ setup beats 10 random ones. One clean move beats 5 forced trades. And one precise entry beats a day of chasing. And one good trade per day can build an entire trading career. So remember, if you're feeling that you need to chase, you can build your trading career just off, taking one good trade. I know it's hard to sit there and wait all the time for that trade, but patience pays. The market does not reward activity. The market will demolish you if you're not in control of yourself. I know it will. I've been crushed by the market more than once. Telling you firsthand, I'm not no kind of guru type person. I'm going to tell you straight honesty. I mean, I've been humbled by the market more than once. Respect yourself, stay in control, and respect the market, and you'll make it forward. Quit chasing after strategies, Quit strategy hopping. I'm not saying any of y'all are, but if for some reason you still are, because there's plenty of strategies out there that work, Just depends on, what one trader likes versus another, and what kind of trading they want to do. But hopping strategies, that's an account killer. And then, people only do that because they see somebody winning, and then they want to win too. So they think, well, I'm gonna quit this strategy because I've been losing. I'm gonna hop over here to this one. And they keep doing that. It's like just a process they do. Could be every week, every 2 weeks, every few weeks. It's different for every trader. But at the end of the day, you have got to think to yourself, at some point, it's not the strat or the strategy, it's the operator. Okay? You want to get better, you got to put the reps in. And you really, really got to, put the reps in. For things to start clicking in your mind, you're not just going to wake up every day and there'll be a strategy thrown in your lap. And it's as simple as just buy here, sell there. No, that's not happening. But you can make something like that happen if you build your trade plan on structure. If you trade by structure, because everything starts there. Everything starts with structure. You can stare at your chart all day long, and not one indicator that we put on our chart, that indicator is not going to tell us anything unless that chart starts moving, because that indicator is not going to move until prices move. Now, maybe, that's why I feel it's so important. I draw my zones manually. People ask me all the time, where do you get them zones? Well, it's part of the precision trading course. I've put in the reps. I've done a lot of charting. So without even any indicators, we could take all the indicators off the chart, and we could still make clean trades because we know how to read structure, and find probabilities in particular zones that are going to pay us. And we're going to wait until that price comes there before we react, because we need to see how it reacts at that level. You know, it's kind of like right now. I drew a couple of these zones on here while I was just sitting here waiting, and now the 5-minute 50 EMA is inside this zone box right here I put in. I would love for it to come there. I would love it, but if it don't, I'm okay with that. It don't have to come to my level. It just means if it don't, I'm not trading. You're welcome, Hawk. I appreciate that, Gore. Coates, yep, that's me. Coates, are you a strategy hopper? I think I seen that come through when I was talking about that part. You know, there's nothing, well, I shouldn't say there's nothing wrong with strategy, because there is. Here's the thing, every trader has got to find the strategy that works best for them. You know, and so you're going to do some strategy hopping just because maybe one particular style of trading ain't your style, and that's completely understandable. Not all traders are the same, but as long as you're hopping a strategy because that's not your style of trading, and there's a different type of style of trading you like to do, that makes sense. If you're hopping through them because you're losing with this strat and see somebody posting about something using this strat and an 80% win rate, and you hop over just to chase the P&L, that's not a good idea. And something else to be noted, just because you might be losing with one strat, and so you see somebody else with this other strat with a high win rate, does not mean they're winning. And what I mean by that is one bad trade can wipe out 10 good decisions. And so then we're talking about risk management, because we talked to somebody on the stream here about a week ago or two, was wondering why they was all the time break even considering their win rate. And the first thing we asked was, when you do lose, is it controllable loss? Their losses were much larger than their wins. So yeah, you got a good win rate, but if you have horrible risk management on the backside of that, then who cares if the win rate's 100% or 99% and the 1% eats the 99? You know what I mean? And all of us in here can be trading the same strat, and half of us will lose today. Half of us will be green maybe, or a third of us will lose, a third of us will be break even, and a third of us will be in a green. And that has nothing to do with the strat. That has everything to do with the operator. Somebody hesitated to get into the trade. Somebody already took a loss today, and so they were scared to pull the trigger, which caused hesitation. Then you have some traders who are going to be like, I don't know if I like that entry. So then they don't pull the trigger. Then it starts going long. It's going, if we're long and it starts moving, it doesn't move 30 points. And then they decide, well, I think I'm going to enter now. They're chasing. You know, every trader is going to be a little different. Everybody's mindset is a little bit different. Their emotions are different. So remember, it's not always a strat, because there's several out there that work. I can tell you with certainty, the worst thing to do is to focus on P&L. Focus on the trade. Focus on the process. You know, because that's where the P&L comes from, the process. If you quit sweating the green and focus more on the process, profits are going to follow faster than you think. But thinking about the green messes with your mind and your emotions. So it's the wrong way to look at it. All right. Certainty does not exist. Probability does. Oh, this is out of the book again, somewhere. The single biggest psychological misunderstanding in trading is there is no certainty in the market. There is only probabilities. Your job is not to be right. Your job is to take trades that make sense structurally, technically, logically, and probabilistically. You don't need to win every trade. You don't need to predict anything. And you don't need to catch every move. You need to trade setups that have positive expectancy over time. Professionals don't stress over single trades. They think in a series of trades. One trade means nothing. 5 trades means nothing. 20 trades shows your discipline. 100 trades show your system. When you stop demanding certainty, you stop being emotional about it. So now I guess I should be looking for maybe a possibility in a long setup here. Maybe down here, I'm kind of liking the zone box down here with the 55-minute in it. Nothing down there. That was a really long, slow grind there. To me, it felt like minimal pullbacks. So I'll be looking for something else there, down there maybe. All right, here's a list of why most traders never learn this, or most traders fail because, one, they size too big. They refuse to cut their losses. They constantly change strategies. We just talked about that. They chase every move. They trade during the chop, which is kind of like scalping. They have no plan for their exits. We talk about MNQ. They demand certainty. And they want action, not discipline. You know, if you're disciplined, you're not going to find a whole lot of action. On a lot of days, you're just not. You're not going to find a lot of action because you're waiting for price to come to you. You have a plan in mind, and that's what you're going with. Gore says looking at 27,225. 27,225 for a long. Yeah, for a long. 27,225. Hold on, Rich. I'll answer that in just a second. 225, 225. I like that, Core. I like that. Yeah, that would look good to me. For me, it just depends on what the momentum's looking like when we get there. You know what I mean? On all 3 time frames. Like if we had more room to extend or whatever, on down to the downside, I might be looking for more downside. Because if we get below the 50 EMA on the 5-minute, which is in this box right here, if we get below that, your level you're talking about could be a sweep of that 50 EMA, which is a very, very possibility. Like, really. And so if it was a sweep, that would be great. But if we was to close below that hard and we had room to expand to the downside, I'd be more concerned with even possibly going lower than that level myself on down here to where this box is possibly. But I like the plan, Gordon. Trailing the multiple time frame, 50 EMAs. Hey, Rich. They're still on my chart. You know, I'm glad that I moved them over. I'm glad that I built that indicator last weekend so that I don't have to keep looking at TradingView for all that. I like it. I like it a whole lot. I've taken a whole lot of trades based off of just those this week being in high confluence area with maybe something else, you know. Maybe you get that tied together with precision entry zone somewhere, a 4-hour, maybe a pivot, in line with a couple of those, and then the momentum indicator being like oversold. Man, they've worked out good. I'm liking it a lot so far. Nice score, absolutely. Sounds good. You create it with AI. I have used some AI to help me with some things, sometimes, but a lot of times it don't act right. Honestly, like it can't. I'll try to get it to help me. Like I won't be able to figure one part out, and then it'll be throwing a bunch of errors every time I ask AI to try to help me with anything. AI is not quite as smart as they say it is, at least not yet. At least I hadn't had the experience with it to be that great yet. It has gotten better though. With time, it has gotten a little better, but it's still not quite there. I remember I had to fix one little simple thing and I couldn't figure it out. I don't know what was going on. I can't remember that day, and I tried to get help that way. Man, if I didn't get like 100 errors on my code because of something that thing said to do, I was so mad. I even quit that day. I ain't even messing with this no more because I was so close to having it done. And it threw me for a loop because yeah, I'm not no coder, by trade or nothing. I've never really done that type of stuff for a living or anything in my entire life. I know a little bit about a lot and a lot about a little bit. And then of course coding's completely opposite on NinjaTrader versus TradingView. It's insane. Nothing's ever easy. If it was, everybody would do it. There you go. We got a coder in the room. Room Beats is a coder for a living. That sounds about right, Daniel. That sounds about right. I know I joke around all the time talking to Special K about AI. Like, man, the thing got a long way to go if they think it's going to take over the world. But I do know that it's improved over a course of time, some, for me anyway. Oh yeah, I think AI is going to take quite a few jobs at some point in time. I just don't think it's quite as ready as the news is saying. Although I could be wrong. There's so many different ones out there. I know that a lot of warehouses are going automated, bringing in robots and stuff, spending all this money. Like uh, this one warehouse don't even have AC. People been working in this warehouse 25 years. They don't have AC. It's hot in the summertime, really cold in the wintertime, and now they're doing this huge remodel, and they're bringing in all these robots. And during this remodel, they're putting in heating and cooling because supposedly these robots can't get too hot or something goes wrong with them. And I'm like, wow, actual humans working in here for over 2 decades, and now they're worried about these robots. All right, let's talk about why routine matters more than motivation. Motivation is temporary. Routine is permanent. Motivation disappears the second you take a losing trade. You get frustrated. NQ whippersaws you around. A setup fails. The market goes quiet. You oversleep. Life gets stressful. I mean, motivation just goes away, you know. But routine stays strong. Routine doesn't care how you feel. A routine doesn't care how your morning started. And a routine doesn't care what happened yesterday. Routine puts you back on track every single day. Traders who rely on motivation fall apart. Traders who rely on routine succeed long term. Yeah, Jeff, I already know that. It's crazy to think, but that's really happening. It's happening close to here where I'm at. So, oh, what are they never gonna give us the pullback we want? What is going on? All we want to do is find a way to get in the trade and it be a good setup. Yeah, I see that. Looking at it now. Don't know if that's enough for me. Yeah, I like that on the 15-minute though. Well, let's go. ATR is just below 10 right now. Considering that they're draining the momentum indicators down without letting the price drain, so have to be careful up here. Either they need to break this down, maybe for a long entry, or they're gonna drain this down and pop this up even further. I guess we're there at the all-time high, pre-market high, is the new high on NQ, so, or MNQ. Yep, yep. I've not have not given us many opportunities to try to get into a trade here. What a move. What are they doing? Wow. News, probably. Probably news. Yeah, put in a new all-time high. And oil just dropped off pretty good, so something going on news. There must be a tweet out there somewhere. Although, it's kind of the same thing they did yesterday and make it look something when they dropped it real hard, like 400 points, and then it came all the way back up almost. I mean, well, it eventually did, of course, and now we're at all-time highs again, but we'll see. Pretty hard rejection there out of that R2 pivot up there. Plus psychological number up there, 400, sweep the 400s and head back down. We'll see. ATR's up, 30, 40. It's like 38, 40, something like that. I was literally just saying that they was holding price up there, draining the momentum indicators like they wanted to make some kind of move like that. And no sooner than I say that, and I look to the side, do something else off screen, and I look back, there it is. If you're new here today with us, don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. Help push it out there further. Come join the Discord. They did this, and then the ATR jumped up real high, and watch, it's going to slow back down probably to 10 or 12. It's already down to 25 from 40, so. Still a little too risky for me to put any capital into the market, risk-wise, especially after making that move. I want to see the pullback, you know? Not quite a 100-point move there, but that was a fast move. Not quite 100, but pretty close. Show us your cards. MNQ. So while we're sitting here watching this move and going green, still no chasing for me. Price action's telling me nothing about no story that I want to trade right now. And speaking about trading, you need to trade like a business owner and not like a gambler. Gamblers chase every opportunity. They risk randomly. They trade emotionally. They react impulsively. And they need constant action all day long. Business owners, on the other hand, they follow a plan. They use data. They stay consistent. They take calculated risk. They protect capital. And they grow with discipline. You're going to decide who you are every time you click that mouse. Every trade is a business decision. Is this good risk? Is this confirmed? Is this aligned with the plan? Is this emotionally driven? Is this what a professional would do? When you adapt or adopt a business mindset, your trading becomes calmer, cleaner, and more intentional. Daniel said, I am a business owner and I struggle trading like I run my business. You'll get there, Daniel. If all else fails, stick a platform treadmill at the trading desk like I did and keep that blood pumping. Keeps that mind working right for me. Just about putting those reps in. I don't know what the news was about or the tweet, but it's coming up on 12 o'clock market time, about 7 or 8 minutes here, and about 7. It looks like we just hadn't got much today on this Friday. No good pullbacks. They hadn't tried to drain it off today. Slow consolidation grinds to the upside. Are you saying you've seen some news, Jake, that the, or was it, what was there news saying that there might be an end to the war? Or more like the political war is what it seems like. Which we stay away from all that in this channel, but we do need to be aware of certain situations globally going on like that because they affect what we do every day. So somebody posted in the P&L, Gore cross 5 funded, traded pre-market, only one trade after market open. We'll wait for setup and switch to evals. Locking in almost 4K, cross 5 funded today, this morning, pretty much in pre-market. Good job, Gore. Interesting. Well then. That ATR is all the way back down to 10, 12, 13. Playing too many games, they are. That's right, Swang. Not one good one. But now a pullback to the 5-minute 50 EMA right here would be a good pullback. It's over 100 points from price action right now. I would take that just for the simple fact that if it dropped 100 points fast enough, it's going to bounce. As long as there's not news that throws it through there and it drops on its own. I don't blame you, Swang. I may end up not trading again myself. I've only taken one trade today, but it's a small base hit. I'm going to lock it in if I don't find anything else and just be happy with it. Come back Monday. Still got a ways to go though here on stream. See if something moves. You know, I mean, and then if I don't, I still might look at Power Hour possibly today. I don't know. Well, Jeff, anymore now that for the most part, I'm not rotating individually while we're on stream. I'm copy trading again. And that's another reason why I'm staying patient and waiting for one good trade. And I have no choice if I want to trade more accounts, I'm gonna have to copy them and take one good trade, you know, and maximize it across several accounts because you're right. On a day like today, If you try to force, let's say you got several accounts and you try to rotate through them individually, that can also mess with your emotions. You're trying to force trades that ain't there. So for me, I try, usually it just depends. Usually I will copy trade some of my fundings together in small groups. Usually I'm not copying anything more than 3 accounts at a time. If I am, it just depends on the day. And then, but it's usually never more than 5 or 6. Since we've been on stream, I think I've gotten up to 6 is the most I think I've ever copied at one time. And because I'm copying, it does force me to wait. There's no reason for me to be multiplying my risk that way. Yeah, like Gore says, copy trading separates funded and his evals, which I do that a lot of times. I'll keep mine separate, but then there's other days I'll mix them together. Usually if I have 6 on, it's because I'm trading at least 3 funded tied together, and then I might do 3 evals at the same time. Just depending on the day. But I never copy trade all funded accounts together because I don't need to risk even one good trade across all funded accounts. You know, I will definitely keep those rotated. And then still even copy trading depending on the day. I mean, the one good trade that I found to get into today, I stopped out too early. And if I was still holding it, I'd be long in the where we're at now. I was long way down there, but I stopped out. I don't recommend anybody copy trade though. Not until how we talked about this other day. Until you have been trading for a while and you're consistent and your consistency is well off and you can rotate accounts and you got your routine down and your discipline and are in control of oneself, I wouldn't bring in a copy trader to get involved with anything. But you got to think the way to maximize this as a job, trading anyway. Eventually, once your discipline is in, everything's in check, the best way to scale is to copy trade. Because then you look, once you are doing it long enough, you scale using the copy trader and you start using bigger size because you put in so many reps on whatever setup it is that you like to use or play. Say we look for pullback. You know, I want to buy pullbacks 100 points with other confluence. And if the win rate on it is say 80%, then you might size up on them trades, but keep tight risk management, you know, throw a stop on there. That way, if you don't get the return leg off of the bounce that you wanted, or they put in another red candle that pierces down, you have a stopper to stop you out, especially if you got multiple fundeds tied together. It's one thing to lose $500 on a funded account. It's another thing to lose $2,500 across 5, you know, or $1,500 across 30. So Jake said copy 20. Maybe one day, Jake, maybe one day. I'm not ready for that myself. I'm just a nobody. There's a lot of good traders out there that probably copy 20. You know, I'm not there yet. I may never be there. I don't know. I don't know that I would ever want to risk that many funded accounts at one time. And maybe it's just the level, you know, it's a level you reach. If it is, then I ain't there. So 20 and 7 minis each, yeah. What I'm talking about. That's about what you be seeing online all the time. People full port and talking about making $60,000 and $78,000 a day. Yeah, okay. Dog tried to get on the treadmill with me. Not big enough for both of us. I mean, here they are again, holding price up here, flagging it, draining momentum indicators down. For what? They're going to try to put in another all-time high? Appreciate that, Remod. Smack that like button. Remod not ready to add copy trade, and I completely understand. That would definitely be a terrifying thing to do. Like if you was new, and the first thing you did was catch some video or some hoorah guru stuff online talking about how you can be rich and drive Lambos and yachts and all that mess. And so then you get you in some accounts, and then you go get a copy trader and get all this set up, and you ain't never done it, and you make your very first trade and you're copy trading. I know there's got to be a lot of people that have done that from the stories I've heard. And I mean, I can only imagine. I didn't add copy trading to mine for quite some time. But I mean, say I've only got this base hit here, $65, but you know, I'm actually copying 6 right now uh, today, so it's that times 6. You know, now that's a small number, but multiplied by 6, it's a bigger number. It's spread across more accounts. That's fine though. You know, it's the concept that eventually, you know, they compound. You know, if you do $100 and you're doing 3 accounts, it's 300, or 5 is 5, or 6 is 6, and so on and so on. You're putting capital in each one of your accounts, regardless of the size of the base hit. Hey, hey. Are we finally going to get that pullback that we want? Probably not. If they could get down here with some speed to this 280 level, could be a bounce play right in here. But it'd have to be pretty fast. No, I don't. If they slow grind this down, it don't matter. Jake shorted the second red candle for 100. Good job, Jake. You talking about the second red on the 5-minute, I'm assuming, yeah. Yep. All right, Jake. Well, if we don't hear from you, we'll see you on the next one, Monday. Still not much of a pullback, huh? Mm-mm-mm. About coming up on 12:15 market time. You know, it's just one of them days. Won't show us its cards, don't want to give us anything. And to be honest, the trading has probably been better opportunity in every other market but the New York session this week, it seems like, as far as movement. Yeah, I know that's right, Daniel. You would think so. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it was a little pullback, but not enough for me to want to get in. Come down there and touch the 50 on the 1 minute, but price don't interest me up here like this, unless I was going to short, but then I don't trust a short because it's so bullish right now. Excuse me. I'm over here in my own little world, not even paying attention. I feel like if I quit looking at the chart, maybe we'll do something. At the current moment, Daniel, I mean, that's kind of, you know, what the theory was behind it, even before they made this leg up. If they keep consolidation right here and they keep draining momentum down, then that is acceptance. They plan on moving this up more than likely. And it ain't just this trade or this last 15, 20, 30 minutes. It ain't just this part of the day. It's been that way several times this week where they've been doing that in this bullish move. You know, price consolidates in a zone. Momentum indicators get drained off, but price action stays the same. There's no real pullback. You might get a little pullback, but it's nothing to amount to anything. And then, you know, once the momentum indicators get drained off far enough to the 50-yard line or to the oversold line, 80% or something, then bam, there's your next leg up. Yeah, no problem, Daniel. And then one might ask themselves, well, if we think price is consolidating up here for acceptance and then the momentum drains off and price action stabilizes where it is and it's going to take a leg up, then why wouldn't you get in long? Well, I don't consider any of that a trade plan. I just consider that being observant of what the market's telling me at the moment. Because just because it gets accepted and they take a leg up, we're already at all-time highs. Psychological number of 400 it keeps tapping into, don't want to stay above it, the R2 pivot here. So say that they do this and they get a leg up, but it's a trap. You know, that's why I don't get long in this mess, because we're at all-time highs. The way the market has been reading so far today, at any given moment, you know. Say they sweep above 400 and come up here and tap 420 or 440 or something, and then hard rejection. I get it. Yeah, well, you can put a stop in place. Still, that's not a good trade plan to me. So I'm not taking it. It's not no A plus setup. Let me just put it that way. So I'm not taking it. The ATR box is it's part of the trading view one. No, no, it's not. I never packaged it with anything. Yeah, I forgot that little dash. I got that little dashboard box for Trading View. I built that on Trading View. I couldn't get the one on Ninja Trader to look the way I want it to look, at least not yet. So I put a pin in it. Come back to it sometime later, which was a long time ago when I put a pin in it. But I guess since I can see it on Trading View, Gore at least pull back to 50 on the 5. I agree, 100%, 100%. I agree with that. 100-point drop right now. Say that they wanted to push this higher and break out this chop box, it wouldn't be nothing for them to drop this 100 points to the 50 on the 5-minute and then run this right back up. We all know it's a possibility. It's not like just because they've been driving this up and no real pullbacks and now they're consolidating, acting like they want another leg up. Even with all that said, the market does what it wants. If it wants to come down here and test it in the next 5 minutes, it'll do it. Regardless of what all this is telling us, it'll do it. That's why you got to be prepared on both sides. You know, the long and the short side. You can't be just a bull or a bear. You have to be both, or at least know how to read structure and possibilities to both sides. All this boredom is doing to me is getting me hungry. Thanks, Remod. That's great. That's why we're here doing what we're doing. You know? Then when we're not on stream, if you're trading, you need to be able to pinpoint those things. So that is great. Congratulations that it's unlocking certain aspects for you. That's really what it's all about. I appreciate that, Gore. I'm the same as well. I mean, I say it every day. I learn stuff every day, it feels like. It's like you can never learn enough or know enough, or there's always the next thing that, like for me, just something will click in my mind. I'm like, wow. And then I beat myself up thinking, I can't believe that I wasn't paying attention to that before. But things move really fast and rapidly in trading and in the market most of the time. I mean, not at this exact moment, it is not, but it's also not necessarily these moments like this right here where the ATR is low and slow grind, and these ain't the moments where you have that button click in your head and then think, wow, can't believe I missed that. Should have been watching that from a long time ago. But it's when that market's moving fast and volatile. We all kind of know what's going on here, but Daniel had brought up the great question about the acceptance level of the level because of the consolidation. You know, uh, it's a important aspect to realize. You know, and to be able to add confluence to it. You know, and then when you think that you're right, sometimes you're still wrong. I mean, that's just the market. The market's going to do what it wants to do. When you're right, you could have been wrong, and when you're wrong, you could have been right, and when you're right, you're right, and when you're wrong, wrong. I mean, it's 2020. I mean, all we can do is react and not be scared to react, at that. If let's put it this way. Let's say that you put a trade plan together. Let's say they're going to make a 100-point pullback and tap the 50 on the 5-minute there, that green line down there by that trend line. Say you put a trade plan together that you want to buy along there, and let's say there's some more, we got the trend lines real close to it, so let's use that as confluence. Let's say there was a pivot point down there. Let's say it was a golden pivot point, because that's the best. Say it was down there right under the line, and say maybe there was say the momentum indicator on the 1 minute was oversold, really really stretched when the price got there. And you build that trade plan and you don't pull the trigger when it gets there, if everything lines up and it's A++ setup and you don't pull the trigger, then there's something more going on the emotional side for you as a trader. Psychologically, you had put together a great trade plan, A+ setup, but yet was scared to pull the trigger when price came to where you wanted it. You're not in 100% control of your emotions. It's funny, I got I went out here and checked on these dogs because I was being quiet. You can buy $100 worth of dog toys, and they will leave them wherever they're at and just go get random stuff like water bottles, anything they're not supposed to be playing with at the moment, and leave them toys alone. It's kind of like when your kids are young, you can buy them $100 worth of birthday gifts or Christmas gifts, and all they want to play with is an empty box. Don't care nothing about what's in the box. They just want the box. So see, they got up here and tested that all-time high. See if they're going to put another leg up here, or if they're going to reject out of here. You know, next thought's going to be 450 because psychological number, halves and whole numbers. So excuse me. Just keep on pushing here. Almost like the excuse me, it's almost like the algorithm's in charge right now. Bad thing is they won't find no real liquidity without pulling it back pretty far. So not any big money like institutional money. They're going to have to pull it back real far to find some of that. Is everybody just about as bored as I am? Hopefully you're not just sitting there listening to me ramble on and actually trade. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. Help push it out there further. We still got Bull and Ox evals are on sale 89% off using code FTE until right now they push the sale out to April 5th. You can get up to 11 master accounts with them. Waiting patiently is what's gonna be the winner for today, because you know it's almost like at some point they probably will give the big pullback. Question being is, will it be while we're streaming, or will it happen after the fact, like yesterday? I don't want to. I want to be able to witness it happen while we're live. I don't want it to be when I decide, well, I'm done streaming today, I'm going to go eat lunch, and then 5 minutes later, you know, pullback. I don't think anybody 3 weeks ago would have thought that we'd be sitting up here at the highs like this. There wasn't really any signs out there pointing like that this was coming. Maybe they're going to give a little pullback here, what, to the 390 level. ATR is down to 8 or 9. It's not moving real fast, huh? All right, Swain. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And yeah, we'll see you back here Monday, same place, same time. Maybe with better opportunities. You would have to think, for as extended as we are in price, that there's a possibility, yes, say that it dropped 100 points to the 50 on the 5-minute. You might get some reaction bounce there, you would think. But ultimately, you would think if they did drop 100 points and as extended as we are, there's a good possibility that they decide to take it further than that. Maybe not in a straight line, but most definitely the possibility would be on the table. Surely it ain't just going to be a sweep of that 50 on the 1. Was looking for some more downside to this. Man, oh man. All right, Gore. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Come on, come on. Once again, they're draining the 1 and 2 minute off pretty steep. In the 5 minute, it's still up there. It's got a ways it could go to the downside if they actually want to pull this back. Been a really slow day. I guess it's been somewhat of a educational day, but slow nonetheless. Whatever you do, don't trade out of boredom. Coming up on a whole hour, about 9 minutes or so. It'll be 1 o'clock market time. We're getting closer and closer to the whole hour market time, 1 o'clock. I'm going to wait and see what kind of reaction there is for that. Maybe give it a few minutes after 1 and see what they're going to do here. If they don't pull back or try to make some kind of move, I may end the stream for the day. Excuse me, my goodness. Price is really resilient up here. I mean, the bulls do not want to let this go down at all. What I'm eyeballing though, still, is the fact that the drop to the 50 on the 5, but now it's in line with this low. So it's confluence that they're going to want, if they do drop, they're going to want to protect this low. Otherwise, it's going to be break a structure there to the downside if they don't protect it. And the fact that that 5-minute 50 is now just above that low, they could spike down here possibly and tag that area and push it back up. That's kind of the reaction area that I'm looking at the moment. Or maybe them to throw in some kind of crazy candle at the whole hour and see if it's a possibility. Looks like they just want to keep driving it up though. On. Nothing yet. It's already this is the whole hour, so didn't really do anything wild or crazy, as you can see. Just don't look like they're going to give us the pullback. Could still be another half hour or better down the road if they don't have to necessarily do it, period. Not the one that we want anyway. I'm going to wrap up the stream here, everyone. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll be back here on Monday, same time, same place. Hopefully we get some better opportunity for some trades on Monday. You know, if you stay in for the rest of the day, just stay safe and stay disciplined. You know, keep sitting on your hands unless price comes to you. You know, don't force anything, and protect your capital. And I appreciate everybody showing up and showing out for the support. And I will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.